My father-in-law and I are both sons-in-law of a rich family. He and his mother-in-law are young and have a deep relationship. But one day my father-in-law took my hand and cried, "Salute your mother, she raised a little one outside and even had a child." I've been in the dark for more than 10 years, which makes people laugh. My nose was sore. Dad, actually Cui Ruyan also has someone. She bought a building for that man. The two of us hugged and cried. For a long time my father-in-law sniffed. A woman can rely on a sow to stand on the tree. Salute, I don't want that old woman. Dad, wherever you go, I don't want that little one either. 1. My father-in-law and I immediately got along, and then began to find a way to retreat. After thinking about it, it's best to escape from death. Although my father-in-law is also a child, he and his mother-in-law have been childhood sweethearts since childhood. At the age of 20, he joined the Cui family and followed his mother-in-law. He was very naive, but he was still good at acting. Salute, Dad has so much in his hand. How can we start? I looked at the information my father-in-law gave me, and my eyes suddenly turned green. 2 billion. My father-in-law is indeed the proud son of heaven. Compared with him, I am a little pitiful, only 30 million. It's just so much, which is enough for us for 3 lifetimes. Dad, I have a way. My father-in-law listened to me, and I started to act. The day after tomorrow is my mother-in-law's birthday. This time we will arrange the banquet on the cruise ship. Firstly, it is novel, and secondly, it is easy to get rid of. Time is tight, so we have to outsource everything. As for the fuse of death, it is naturally that man. If you have the courage to accept a building given to him by Cui Ruyan, you have to take responsibility. On his birthday, his father-in-law was wearing a Versace suit, and there was no trace on his mature and steady face. Cui Jingyi, his mother-in-law, stood beside him. Although she was old, she was still well-maintained, attracting many rich people to watch. The guests came and went around. She smiled and nodded at me across the crowd. The two of us were close to each other. At this time my wife Cui Ruyan came to me and put her arms around me. Salute, you are so handsome tonight. The temperature in the palm of my hand made me tremble all over, and unconsciously got out of the way. You are also very beautiful tonight. You provoked so many peach blossoms, and I have been killed countless times by their eyes. There were many young and handsome men around who looked at Cui Ruyan together. She leaned her cheek on my shoulder and said, "They can't see and touch it. I only belong to you." I endured the disgust and looked at the eyes not far away. Unfortunately, some people are sad. Cui Ruyan, that building is very valuable. It seems that Mr. Lin is very unusual in your heart. Cui Ruyan suddenly choked, put her hand down and said with a straight look, "Don't get me wrong. It's all for work. I understand. Spend a lot of money for love." Cui Ruyan still wanted to explain. I patted her. "I'm going to see Dad. You can do whatever you want." Lin Yao came over and entangled her, and I took the opportunity to walk towards my father-in-law. When I got to my father-in-law, he pulled me to the deck. "Gift, are you ready?" "Well, I'm ready. Don't worry." We looked at each other and smiled. At this time Lin Yao came over. "Shinjili. Uncle, you're here too." The father-in-law looked wary. "Mr. Lin, you coaxed my daughter to buy a house for you, and now you dare to appear in front of me." Lin Yao's face was ugly. "Uncle, I didn't. Sister Cui was voluntary." Bang! The father-in-law couldn't help but slap him. Lin Yao was stunned. I sneered and said, "Who are you?" "My father gave birth to Cui Ruyan." "What kind of younger brother are you?" "Lin Yao, do your fans know that you are so shameless in private?" Lin Yao was so angry that he covered his face and wanted to fight with me. My father-in-law and I were entangled with him. One of us was careless. I fell back and fell over the railing. "Salute!" My father-in-law shouted and leaned out to catch me, but he caught me. Lin Yao was scared. "No, it's not me. It's not who you are my daughter-in-law." His father-in-law grabbed him and dragged him to the railing. Lin Yao was so scared that he pushed him. There was a heartbreaking shout behind. "Dad!" 2. Everyone on the cruise ship looked around in a panic. Not far away I was rescued and my father-in-law trembled in my ear. "How are you doing?" "Dad, I'm fine." I wrapped myself in a blanket and watched the noise on the cruise ship in the distance, which gradually moved away. Finally, I was relieved. After we landed safely, we sat on the sofa and watched the news. The huge headline made us frown tightly. Hashtag the birth of the head of the Cui family caused a tragedy, and the son-in-law both fell into the sea, and their whereabouts are unknown. Hashtag. On the screen Lin Yao's face was pale, his eyes were red and he cried, "I didn't mean to push them. They fell down by themselves." Lin Yao was taken away by the police. Cui Ruyan and Cui Jingyi looked solemn, especially Cui Ruyan, who is now even more haggard. I curled my lips when I watched it, and then turned off the TV. My father-in-law patted the back of my hand. Don't worry, they're just pretending. The two of us are dead, and they don't know how beautiful they will be. Just watch. Lin Yao will come out in less than 2 days. At that time, Cui Jingyi's lover will also appear. I nodded. Just as my father-in-law thought, Lin Yao was released 3 days later. A large number of reporters heard the news and went out. Because of the lack of evidence, Cui Ruyan personally picked him up on the day Lin Yao was released. The reporter surrounded the two people in the middle, and they went into battle with long and short guns. Mr. Cui, it is rumored that Lin Yao had an argument with the two gentlemen at the time of the incident. Is it related to falling into the sea? Now Cui always let go of his past grudges? How's the latest progress? Did the Cui family give up salvage? Cui Ruyan's face was gloomy. Everything is mainly about the official announcement. I couldn't help sneering while watching the video. Cui Ruyan, you are really damned. This man is your heart. You can't bear to scold him, but you still protect him. I was so angry that I quit the video and simply took my father-in-law to travel around the world. It's different to have money on you. For safety's sake, we also opened an overseas account, and no one will find out. Every day is colorful and green, and you can enjoy it wantonly. It's so unhappy. However, I don't know what the Cui family thinks. If they don't see a body for a day, they won't mourn for a day. As a result, all walks of life are speculating whether the two sons-in-law of the Cui family have died or not. There are rumors all over the world and I can't move. Bask in the sun every day and see beautiful women by the sea. Don't be too comfortable these days. After playing for more than half a year, I also felt a little bored, so my father-in-law and I went back to China to open a homestay in the scenic spot. We received customers to collect money every day, and lived a comfortable life. The news about both of us on newspapers and TV has gradually faded. I was thinking that the days would be like this. Day by day, my father-in-law also thinks so. Even our father and son are comeable. We go to the bar from time to time and meet beautiful women. My father-in-law was open-minded and took me to judge them. However, the good days came to an abrupt end. During the peak tourist season, the business of the homestay is excellent. I received a large order. The guests contracted for a month and gave in more than 20,000 yuan. Of course, I agreed that no one else was allowed to stay. Knowing that there were only 2 of them, I patted my chest and promised that this detached house would be left to them. He even hoarded a lot of food in the villa. This is a little couple at first glance. I have to serve you well. My father-in-law was also very happy to learn about it. Before the guests came, he pulled me to take a chivalrous portrait. Life is alive, enjoy yourself to the fullest. Salute. Look at how handsome you are. In 2 days I will give you a blind date. You are still young and can't hang on Cui Ruyan's crooked neck tree. 3. His words warmed my heart and I naturally knew. Dad, I know in my heart. Cui Ruyan is just an accident. Of course, I won't refuse if I have fate. Dad, I see that Aunt Huang next door often comes over. Are you also going to start the second spring? He curled his lips embarrassedly. Your Aunt Huang looks good, but she is still a little worse than Cui Jingyi. I have a spirit in my heart. Dad, you don't think about my former mother-in-law, do you? Cut. He rolled his eyes and was full of disgust. Since I knew that she had become a rotten melon, I never wanted to be with her again. But you also know that she and her young couple have been together for so long that we can't hold other women in our eyes for at least a while. The father-in-law turned around and said, but the little girl recently is good. I can try it. When I heard my father-in-law say this, I couldn't help but light up my eyes. It seems that men are teenagers until they die, and they like young people no matter how old they are. This is easy to do. I snapped my fingers. I heard that there are a lot of young ladies in the bar in front of you. There are all kinds of them, and they can also be cost. Shall we go and have a look tonight? My father-in-law and I immediately decided to leave tonight. After taking a photo, the makeup artist next to me also took 2 photos for me and couldn't help praising. You are the most temperamental knight I have ever made. Can I send a TikTok? I hurriedly said. Face sideways, don't take a picture of the front. No problem. She took a photo of my side face and posted it to TikTok for publicity, and I didn't think too much about it. In the evening, I took my father-in-law directly, changed my clothes, and went straight to the bar. Although my father-in-law is already 5 years old, he has always been well educated, and there is no trace of time at all. Under the dim light, the 2 of us sat on the sofa, and the manager skillfully let a row of female models come out for us to choose. I took out 2 stacks of banknotes and smashed them. If you want the best, you don't need crooked melons and split dates. The manager hurriedly pulled the newcomers to the front. I sighed. Is there anything else? Didn't you say that there are 2 best products? The father-in-law turned the diamond watch on his hand, and the manager's eyes lit up immediately. Don't worry, those 2 will come right away. Then I nodded. I couldn't see anyone left and right. I sighed. It seems that this store is not good. and the quality is uneven. As soon as the words fell, two people came into the door. They looked a little familiar, but they were wearing masks and in good shape. Ordinary low-breasted long skirts can give a sense of luxury. Suddenly, my eyes lit up and I sat up straight. Mr. Shun, this is the treasure of our town store. I waved my hand and the manager stepped back. After they came in, they looked at me and my father-in-law. The corners of their mouths raised. I couldn't help but feel that there were gusts of wind behind me, as if something was wrong. I subconsciously jumped in my heart. Dad, do you think they are not right? The figure is good, but I always feel that they seem to be a little familiar. The woman stepped forward and hugged me in her arms. The unique smell of cedar on my body made my heart tremble. Shunjili? Are you still satisfied? The familiar voice made my brain boom. I cracked. I stretched out my hand and took off my mask tremblingly. A pair of peach blossom eyes stared at me, and I suddenly felt dizzy. It's okay. Shunjili took my father here to be dashing. Have you had enough fun? 4. On the other hand, Cui Jingyi also took off her mask and looked at her father-in-law who was smiling proudly, and her face became gloomy. Zhang Yue, please explain it to me. Suddenly, the father-in-law rolled his eyes and fainted magnificently. I also wanted to faint, but the next second Cui Ruyan grabbed her wrist, strangled the back of her head, and kissed her directly. I pushed her away suddenly, wiped my mouth, and my face was full of gloom. Don't touch me. Isn't Lin Yao with you? Run out well and love your husband. Who are you disgusted with? Cui Ruyan looked at me for a long time and laughed. There is no Lin Yao. Don't fool me. I'll see it all. The reporters have told me. How long do you want to lie to me? When she heard me say this, she couldn't help laughing. Why are you jealous? Eat your uncle, get out of here. The mother-in-law beside her pulled her father-in-law up. Ruyan, take care of your people, we will solve it ourselves. After saying that, he helped his father-in-law to leave. I was about to follow, but Cui Ruyan stopped me. She put her arms around my shoulder and forcibly took me out of the bar. The boss wanted to come over, but was scared away by her cold eyes. Cui Ruyan took me to the homestay and I struggled. The guest is still here, let go. The guest is me, I decided. Suddenly I was struck by lightning, and I didn't expect it to be her. I should have thought that who is so generous that he will be free for a month as soon as he takes action. Cui Ruyan took me to the room with her hands crossed. I have to say that this woman is a little graceful, with her breasts and thin waist, which makes me a little dazzled. In the past few months I have been almost immune to beautiful women every day, but when I face Cui Ruyan, I still can't help staring at her. You, what do you want to do? I should ask you this question. You pretend to die and deceive people. You not only die by yourself but also mess around with my father. Shunjili, you are bold enough. I couldn't help laughing. This is also forced by you. You bought a building for Lin Yao. What qualifications does a cheating dog woman have to question me? After saying that, I got up and was about to leave, but she suddenly pushed me down on the bed, and my hands were directly strangled by her and pulled higher than the top. Salute, it's nothing at all. Lin Yao and I are not what you think. Don't lie to me. Knowing that he pushed me into the sea, you actually bailed him out and said it was nothing. You just abandoned him in the end. I kicked her in the leg, and the pain made him snort. I took the opportunity to throw her away, opened the door and went out, but was unexpectedly stopped by the bodyguard. Sir, Mr. Cui said you can't leave this building. I couldn't help turning my head and staring fiercely. Cui Ruyan chased out. If you can't go out, if you dare to leave, don't think too much about your family. When I left, I didn't even know my family and didn't dare to contact them at all. Now Cui Ruyan threatened me with them, and I couldn't help clenching my fists. You don't have to look at me like that. I only know about this. My father and you both have to pay the price. How dare you, Cui Ruyan? I can't spare you. I was incompetent and furious, and she didn't take it seriously at all. Cui Ruyan hooked her finger at me. Let's go, let's talk. I took a deep breath. Talk about it, who is afraid of whom? I just don't know how my father-in-law is doing now. I looked at another room upstairs, and there seemed to be a noisy sound from it. Cui Ruyan covered my eyes. Don Evit, my mother will not do anything to my father no matter what she does. 5. I patted her hand and looked disdainful. Your mother and daughter are two Rakamans. The old man raised a small one outside and an illegitimate child, and the little one took care of a man outside and bought a building. Cui Ruyan, do you know that your seat has not been sitting for long? Your mother's child outside will definitely come back to steal the family property from you. Cui Ruyan looked at me suspiciously. The illegitimate child robbed the family property? Shunjili, have you read too many novels? What have you learned when you are with my father all day? Thanks to you. You are still a talented student from a famous school. I glared at her fiercely. This is what you mother and daughter did. Why do you talk about me? Shunjili, your brain really needs to be cured. My mother has no illegitimate child, and Lin Yao and I are not the kind of relationship you think. I believe you, ghost. Yes, no, just deny it. Even the reporter can see it. I want to you, he obviously pushed me and my father-in-law. Why did you bail him out? Didn't you pay for the building outside? Answer yes or no. Cui Ruyan was helpless. Yes. Then it's over. I spread my hands and said, in that case, let's divorce. Divorce? Are you serious? Of course, I don't want to have sex with you. When I got married, I said that I can get married, but the woman I want is single-minded with me instead of making trouble outside. The marriage of two people can't tolerate the insertion of a third party. Cui Ruyan looked at me with a strange look. Lin Yao is just a new little meat of my film and television company. I asked him to make money by making a drama. That building only has the right to use, but no ownership. Moreover, the assets are in your name. Hearing the words, I couldn't help being stunned. Cui Ruyan was afraid that I would not believe it, so she took out her mobile phone and showed me the photos. That building was bought in your name. I told Lin Yao that this is for him to live in. He can live as long as he wants. Do you understand? I don't understand. All I know is that you take good care of him in front of people. You acquiesced that he was under the banner of Mr. Cui. I glared at her fiercely. We have been divorced separately. In the future, no matter who you take care of, it has nothing to do with me. After running away with my father-in-law, my mother-in-law and wife were crazy. 39,103 inch. As soon as the words fell, another roar came from the next door. It was my father-in-law. Don't lie to me. The man almost came to me with the child. Cui Jingyi, I supported you and your young couple all the way. That's what you did to me. The child is already 16 years old. How long do you want to lie to me? With a loud bang, my father-in-law slammed the door and grabbed my hand with tears in my eyes. Go, ignore them. Get rid of them. I was a little embarrassed. But Dad, they are the guests who have been chartered by the homestay for a month. What? The father-in-law was shocked and didn't expect it to be them. He said repeatedly, unlucky. Lose the money and let them go. Cui Jingyi came out and said, we don't want money. Listen to my explanation for you. I won't listen. Let's get a divorce, give a gift, and go to a lawyer for divorce. If the agreement fails, then we will sue. My father-in-law and I looked at each other. We were all ready and had to end this matter. When my mother-in-law heard what he said, she suddenly covered her chest and her face turned pale. Yue, you don't believe me. I've been with you all year round. How can I have time to have children? She was shaky and her father-in-law didn't care. You pretend less, I'll tell you. Before he finished speaking, his mother-in-law fell to the ground with a thud. Suddenly the father-in-law shouted, Cui Jingyi, wake up. Cui Ruyan, you dead girl, what are you still doing? Your mother has fainted. Why don't you come and call an ambulance? Cui Ruyan was also anxious and rushed her to the hospital, and I followed her. 6. My father-in-law was anxious outside. I looked at my father-in-law's appearance and couldn't help asking, Dad, it seems that you still have her in your heart. Who said that? I'm worried that if she dies in front of me, we won't do business in the future. That makes sense. I nodded repeatedly. In case he died in our homestay, he couldn't continue in the future. I couldn't help sighing when I saw my father-in-law's stiff mouth. Cui Ruyan is beside him, he said in a low voice. I don't know where you saw the gossip. If it's obviously not there, you have to splash dirty water. Don't help her fool me. That man's name is Chun. His son is 16. He is carved from the same mold as your mother. Stinky girl, thanks to you, you are still my kind. And you have the same heart with your mother. Her father-in-law gave her a fierce look. Cui Ruyan was about to explain. Her mother-in-law had woken up on the bed. She quickly stretched out her hand and grabbed her father-in-law's hand. Yue, don't leave me. The father-in-law's face was full of displeasure. The doctor said, the patient can't be stimulated now, and emotional fluctuations will lead to cerebral hemorrhage. It's better to be accompanied by a family member. Seeing this, my father-in-law could only stay sadly and turned to me. Salute, you go out to rest first. Dad, I'm next door. If you have any questions, just call me. I can't leave my father-in-law here alone. I turned around and went to the next door. There were only me and Cui Ruyan here. Just as she was about to say something, the phone rang. Cui Ruyan hung up impatiently, but I clearly saw the word Lin Yao on the screen. Tahap. If you don't answer him, he will be sad. Cui Ruyan hesitated for a moment, but the ring still stopped. He had no choice but to connect. As soon as he connected, his face suddenly changed. What are you talking about? I sneered and acted very similarly. I shook my head and didn't say anything. I turned to the window and looked outside. Under the blue canopy, the lights in the distance were clearly extinguished. I listened to the rustling sound coming from the next door. It seemed to be my mother-in-law and father-in-law that I'm explaining something, and I don't know if the two of them have reached an agreement, but it's impossible for me and Cui Ruyan. Say wait for me here. Something happened over there. I'll be right there. After saying that, he rushed out and left the bodyguard here. I sneered and my heart sank. After turning on the mobile phone, a message came from Lin Yao. Mr. Shan, Mr. Cui and I are not what you think. Please don't misunderstand Mr. Shan. When I saw his green tea speech, I was suddenly shocked. How did he know that I was still alive? Unexpectedly, I found my new number. At this time, a low male voice came from outside. Brother Jiang, don't argue with me. I know you're upset, but I really didn't mean it. He is also a child of the Cui family. Cui Lin. Kneel down quickly and apologize to your aunt and admit your mistake. With a thud, I heard my father-in-law say angrily, "Who is your aunt, you bastard?" I rushed out and saw a handsome-looking man kneeling in front of my father-in-law with a boy. My father-in-law's eyes were red. I immediately pushed the person away. Are you crazy? You still come to the door to declare sovereignty. I pointed to the bodyguard and said, "Drag them away," and the boy behind him stepped forward. What are you going to do? You are not allowed to bully my father. It was your father who bullied my father first. The two of us are like fighting chickens. Chunzei's face was strange. I just came to have a look and I didn't mean anything else. If you disturb my father and my mother-in-law, please get out immediately. 7. Seeing me like this, they had to step aside, but they didn't leave. They just stood at the door. At this time, the mother-in-law in the ward said, "Let them both come in." Hearing the words, I was furious, but my father-in-law calmly patted my hand and looked down at my mobile phone, not knowing who I was talking to. After Chunzei went in, he didn't know what he said. There was a cry inside, and my father-in-law and I looked at each other. The father-in-law snorted coldly. Pretentious. I nodded repeatedly and suddenly thought of Cui Ruyan. By the way, Dad, Lin Yao seems to know that I'm not dead and just sent me a message. I handed over my mobile phone, and my father-in-law couldn't help being stunned when he saw it. He was about to speak when the door opened. Yue, you and Gigi come in. I went in with my father-in-law. Cui Jingyi lay on the bed and said, "Let me introduce myself. This is Chunzei." I know him. You don't need to introduce him to me. He's your illegitimate son, right? You misunderstood. Chunzei said, "The child is from Cui's family, but it's not Cui Jingyi's business but Cui Rubing's." What did you say? Didn't she die long ago? What did her father-in-law realize? Cui Jingyi explained, "She has a child." Chunzei smiled bitterly. "I've been in the countryside with my child, but I really can't live any longer, so I came to find Cui's family. This child's academic performance is very good, but he delayed following me." Chunzei pleaded, "I know you misunderstood, but I can't help it. Brother Jiang, I beg you to accept Cui Lin." Dad, following you is eating bran and swallowing vegetables. I'm willing to go anywhere. Cui Lin is very stubborn. Only then did I find that the child was still wearing a school uniform. I didn't expect that he was the child of Cui Ruyan's aunt. Why didn't my mother-in-law explain it before? Cui Jingyi sighed. Chunzei and I have only met twice. As soon as we dialed 100,000 yuan, your father-in-law found out. It's unforgiving. I wanted to make it clear on my birthday, but I didn't know. Later I found you, but he didn't listen to my explanation, so I simply invited someone over and made it clear to you in person that this was a paternity test. When Rubing was still alive, he had a paternity test. It turned out that the father-in-law thought that Chunzei was the outer wife. It's over. I was stunned. Cui Jingyi looked at me and said, "Salute, you take them out first. I'll stay for you. I have something to say to you." At this time, my father-in-law's face was a little unnatural. I patted him. "If you have something to say, just say it. I support you." My father-in-law nodded, and I left with Chunzei and his son. After coming out, I was a little embarrassed. "I'm so sorry I misunderstood." "It's nothing. I'm also confused. I should have contacted Brother Jiang. Cui Lin looks so much like his mother. No wonder Brother Jiang misunderstood. However, what's the matter with you and Ruyan? I don't think she is a random person. Speaking of Cui Ruyan, I'm angry that she hasn't come back yet. I'll take you to the hotel to rest first. It's not too early. Let's talk about anything tomorrow." Chunzei nodded, and I sent them to a nearby hotel to check in. Then I called Cui Ruyan, but it was Lin Yao who answered. "Where is Cui Ruyan?" "Mr. Shan, Mr. Cui is taking a shower. You can call me later." After saying that, I hung up the phone. I clenched my fist and died. Damn it. How dare you lie to me? 8. I hate it so much that I can't wait to pull her to make it clear now. But why should I be led by her? I found a bodyguard and said, "Find Cui Ruyan." "I can't find anyone." I'll drive you all. The bodyguard didn't dare to be careless, so he set off. I contacted the lawyer again and asked him to check whether the building over there in Shanxing was in my name. If it was mine, ask him to inform Lin Yao now and tell him to get out. Why let other men live in my house? The lawyer's action was also very fast, and he immediately confirmed that the property was in my name. In this case, let Lin Yao clean up and move. Under my series of measures, Lin Yao suddenly exploded. Call me immediately. What do you mean by Shenjili? You're going to push me to the end. Isn't it as you wish? Since you robbed my woman, you should be prepared for revenge. I'll give you a day to get out of my house. After saying that, I hung up the phone directly and blocked him. Now it should be Lin Yao who is anxious. I'm not in a hurry either. An hour later, the bodyguard came back with Cui Ruyan. Her face was red and she pulled me away. Salute, I just need to salute. Sir, Mr. Cui was drugged. When we found her, Lin Yao was taking off her clothes to take pictures. Hearing the words, I couldn't help but get angry. Where are the people? We brought it. With a thud, Lin Yao was pressed and knelt in front of me. His hair was scattered, and there were slap marks on his face. He looked embarrassed. He gritted his teeth and said, I will succeed in a little more. Shenjili, you are really lucky. Even if she is drugged by me, she still misses you. I raised my hand and slapped him fiercely. How dare you rob me of a woman? Staring at him, moving out of that house and blocking the whole network. The bodyguard nodded repeatedly and pushed Lin Yao out. I took Cui Ruyan into the infirmary. The doctor gave her an intravenous drip after a careful examination. It will be fine after the medicinal properties. I was about to leave, but Cui Ruyan took my hand and said, Don't leave. It's all my fault. Don't leave me. She was sleepy and didn't forget to apologize to me. Looking at her red cheeks, I couldn't help sighing and clapping her hand. I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving. Cui Ruyan grabbed my hand. I waited until the middle of the night and couldn't help falling asleep. I felt cold on my body in a daze and I couldn't help moving to the heat source. When I woke up, a woman's laughter came from above my head. Salute, I know you can't give up on me. I immediately let go of her blushing face and was about to go down. She hugged me tightly and didn't let go. Husband, you have me in your heart. Otherwise you wouldn't have brought me out. You're so kind. I took a deep breath and was a little speechless. How can Lin Yao give you medicine? It's not you who gave him a chance. Conscience, husband, Lin Yao called me and said that he took a picture of you and blackmailed me for 20 million yuan. I had no choice but to go there. I didn't think about it. Cui Ruyan said and kissed my forehead. Thanks to my husband, you are so kind. Lin Yao, I won't let him go. At this time when I heard her say this, I asked again. Didn't you agree to let someone make money for you? Because of love becomes hatred. I have never loved him, but he used to be a good friend of Sister Lei of Yuanyang Technology. I let him jump out of the face of Sister Lei. Now he is treating me, and he still wants me to give him a good face? Humph. That's good. I've had him kicked out. 9. Cui Ruyan hugged me tightly. Husband, well done. I patted her face. Okay, let go, it's a joke. By the way, Cui Lin turned out to be my aunt's child. Cui Ruyan was stunned for a moment and then reacted. Cui Lin Chanze's son? So that's it. I just said that my mother couldn't do those things. Salute, you can't scare me like that in the future. You don't know that my mother and I almost committed suicide. I didn't say anything. She hugged me and buried her head in my arms. I sighed and hugged her. After Cui Ruyan recovered, her father-in-law and mother-in-law also made up, and we took Chanze and his son back together. The reporters didn't know how they received the news and rushed over when they heard the wind. I looked at the people outside and asked in a low voice. How did Lin Yao know my whereabouts? How did you find me? Husband, your chivalrous photo is popular all over the internet. Who doesn't know? Lin Yao arrived one step ahead of me. He secretly took a picture of you. Of course, he knew your whereabouts. Turned out to be like this. The makeup artist took a picture of me and sent it out. At that time I didn't pay attention. Cui Ruyan looked at it and chased me all the way. It's just that now so many reporters are flocking, and I really don't know how to face it. Cui Ruyan took my hand, and my mother-in-law protected my father-in-law, and declared that my father-in-law and I would not die in great trouble, and we would not come back after recuperating outside for half a year. A photo of my chivalrous man was exposed on the internet, and netizens found out that I was opening a homestay in the scenic spot. What kind of recuperation? It's just a trip to distract you. Marriage has changed, right? Where is Lin Yao? It is said that he was kicked out. Is this the original match? Cold knowledge. Lin Yao is the little white face raised by Mr. Lei of Yuanyang Technology. Yuanyang Technology was invaded by Cui. Lin Yao lost his value and was directly kicked out. Imaginary business war. Stock market war. Real business war. Son-in-law jumping into the sea. I feel a little embarrassed when I see these comments. The influence of the outside rumors on the Cui family is not without. It's just that Cui's mother and daughter's tricks are thunderous. Soon these rumors disappeared completely. My father-in-law and I were drinking tea in the garden, and he handed me a card. Dad, are you here? I haven't spent it for you. I'll ask her for it later. Your mother cried very sadly. If you don't spend her money, she will doubt whether I'm going to run away. This dog food stuffed me into my mouth, and I had no choice but to accept it. Salute, women have a sense of crisis so that men can sit firmly. Shall we go to the bar tonight? My father-in-law's words stunned me. I looked at him. He squeezed his eyes at me and I suddenly laughed. Okay, no problem. I made an okay gesture, and the son-in-law and son-in-law reached an agreement. In the evening, my mother-in-law was urged to attend the banquet by her father-in-law. Cui Ruyan was also rushed by me to accompany her mother-in-law and asked her to keep an eye on her, so as not to let those who were or not run over. And my father-in-law and I secretly went to the bar. I have to say that the bars in Shancheng are different. In terms of quality and quantity, they are 2 grades higher than those in the scenic spot. I watched those women wriggle to their heart's content on the stage, leaning down to flirt from time to time, and the smell of hormones came to my face, and even someone came to me to touch her slender waist. This made my little face red, and my father-in-law laughed and couldn't close his mouth. Don't be afraid. Don't touch it. We all spent money to come in. My hand stretched out, and suddenly an more hand came out of the air to pinch my wrist. Husband. I was stunned for a moment, and my father-in-law was also hugged by my mother-in-law the next second. What's the matter? I can't get enough of it, so I came here to see it. Listen to my sophistry. I squinted at Cui Ruyan and was a little puzzled for a moment. Didn't you go to the banquet? I'm going to attend a banquet, but I just saw someone's location here, and I knew you came to see the beauty. When I heard her words, I immediately laughed. Cui Ruyan raised her eyebrows and pulled me away directly. My father-in-law was also entangled by my mother-in-law. We looked at each other and had no choice but to leave. When I got home, I felt sorry for the thousands of yuan, and I was dragged back after only looking at it for 2 minutes. Seeing my appearance, Cui Ruyan frowned. Why can't you give up? I was so excited. No, how can I be reluctant? It's not the best. I've decided to punish you a little so that you don't have time to look at them. I felt a little guilty and wanted to continue to explain, but I was blocked by her kiss. It was not until a year later that she gave birth to a child. At that time, I leaned against the head of the bed and watched Cui Ruyan hold the baby to sleep, and my heart was warm. Husband, the baby is 100 days old. I'll give you a gift. I subconsciously wanted to refuse. I didn't know that she gave me a contract. This film and television company is under your name. I have signed a lot of small white flowers for you to see, but you can only see and not touch it. Honey, I love you so much. I pounced on him and kissed him. Cui Ruyan hugged me with a smile. At that moment I felt happiness surrounding me. By the way, don't forget our father-in-law. The full text is finished.